Hello everyone, it's Nicole. Today I'm here to talk about my writing. After writing nothing for years and struggling with it, I participated in NaNoWriMo this November, and it kickstarted my writing once again and allowed me to enjoy this activity once more. Now I'm writing a couple of things at the same time, and I'm so grateful to this project. I'm really grateful. Also, during NaNoWriMo and now when I'm writing very actively, I picked up a few tips that I want to share with you if you also write and you also want to continue doing it and to do it in a more enjoyable and satisfying manner. I also, as any other human being that enjoy writing as an activity, have a bunch of my own personal struggles with it. Some have problems with character writing, some with initial ideas, some just lose interest very quickly over a certain idea and start writing something else and never continue anything. The last person is me. And I found some things that helped me recently with my personal issues, so if you have them too, you will find it helpful, I believe. Personally, I never had issues with making up things. I'm always full of ideas. I have all these concepts at the back of my mind, and there's plenty, honestly, plenty of them. The thing that I lack in, though, is responsibility and motivation. It's very hard for me to stick to one idea, and I figured I'm not going to stop myself. I'm just going to write a few projects in parallel and see how the thing is going to play out. And that helped me, honestly, because I'm writing 3 projects at the same time, and when I'm tired of certain characters or certain plots, I just move to other project in the batch. It also allows my creativity to flow in a natural way. If you have struggles with ideas, I suggest you to first read a lot, because there's no such thing as a new idea. Everything that you see coming out on the market is a recycled plot with a different perspective, because every order is different. You can mix a couple of things and your idea will be different. So read more, not only in the genre that you write in, but in different genres, because that will give you ideas. Also, non-fiction is great. Non-fiction is great for picking up ideas. Then watch more. The quality of screenwriting in our era is so dope that you will find so many concepts you will want to tackle. Then there's inspiration boards like Tumblr or Pinterest that you can use for finding ideas. It works the same way as reading more does. You just see these pictures and your brain gives you an association that will turn into an idea at some point. That's the easy part for me. I can make up 10 ideas just watching the viewfinder of the camera and make them up quickly. The point is writing and sticking to it. That's what I struggle with. As I said before, parallel writing helps me up a lot, but also it's important to not overdo it. 3 projects I think is okay. 10 is too much. You're never going to finish anything. Then there is another tip that helped me, and that's writing in the genre and with elements that you honestly enjoy. Sometimes you're lying to yourself when you say that you enjoy certain things, and especially that you enjoy writing them. Subconsciously, you believe that certain genres are more socially acceptable, and that is no way going to help you to stick to the idea that you have, because you'll be bored, you'll be struggling, you'll hate yourself, and you'll hate what you're doing. If you're very interested in erotica, please write erotica. If you're good at writing romance or fantasy, please write romance or fantasy. If you're not particularly interested in literary fiction, don't write it. That's the easy conclusion. I personally found myself more attracted to fantasy and to queer people, obviously. I just sat one day and realized that I'm not interested in writing straight characters at all. I prefer writing about queer protagonists because I'm queer myself, and straight experience is not something I'm invested in. I believe that the romance is not supposed to be the main plot point in a fantasy novel, but knowing that the character shares my sexual orientation helps me feel for them more. Not that I don't write straight characters at all, it will be extremely unbelievable. I prefer to keep them in the background, or for them to be a minority of my point of view characters. When I realized that and I accepted it, I started writing more. The second tip is again Pinterest. Pinterest is so great. I was so skeptical about it. It took me so many years to actually register there. But when I did, I made dashboards for my novels. Sometimes when I feel uninspired, I browse through them and I feel immediately a rush of energy coming through me, a flow of inspiration. Then Scribner is another tip that I picked up from NaNoWriMo. Scribner is amazing. Scribner allows you to stick everything in one folder and see how it's becoming whole. There's three functions that I enjoy about it. It's the fact that everything is in one place, the fact that you can listen to what you wrote without reading it yourself, and that you can write scenes and chapters somewhere near the end of the novel, but it will be structured still. And the last tip is music. 8-Tracks is amazing for it. You can look for inspirational mixes from different people, or you can make your own that will going to invest you in the story more and feel the atmosphere of it. That's two issues that I'm ready to give advice for. With everything else, I'm struggling with myself at the moment. As to what I'm writing right now, I'm mostly focused on two stories. One is a new adult urban fantasy / sci-fi reminiscent of Mercy Thompson and other urban fantasy books like this. Even though at first it will be confusing why I'm comparing it to Mercy Thompson, you'll get it when I'll explain it. It's set in a futuristic world 100 of years after an alien ship crashed into African continent. The aliens are called Ceresians and they are highly intelligent humanoid race that were looking to relocate to another planet because their planet was dying. Pretty simple, right? Every sci-fi starts like this. But then they crash into African continent because of an accident in space, and the samples that they were carrying on this ark are scattered around. The climate, the animals and the plants are forever changed by the accident. Our protagonist is Violet, who is a junior researcher and who wants to push her project named Bestiario through the cabinets but can't. She wants to explore the hidden parts of post-accident nature of Earth, but she's constantly refused. But then something happens and she is assigned to investigate the case with a bunch of people and aliens, and that might push her project to her bosses way faster than she expected. It's a fun one to write because of the location and because it's very adventurous and has a hint of blooming romance. Also in this frame I'm allowed to explore another culture, the culture that I can develop and write myself, which is huge, and also to explore monsters, to make them up, and to allow the classical monsters to be seen from a different point of view. Then there's another one that I'm writing. It's also new adult. I'm not very keen on choosing between young adult and adult. I prefer new adult because it's the age group that I'm in. I'm 23 and I write about the characters that are in this age group. This one is set in a world where every big village has a witch, and this witch helps them with their health, desires, their needs. They oversee the future and do a lot of different helpful things for the settlement. The witches are not immortal, but their power is. When the time comes, the magic passes to one of the witch's apprentices. She or he usually has 3. Nobody knows exactly to whom the power is going to transfer to. So there's a lot of competition between the apprentices. Although they do have a small amount of power, but it's not something they can serve with. Being a witch not only is accepted in this society, but also is praised, so every apprentice naturally wants to be one, but essentially nobody really knows to whom the power is going to pass to. It's going to be a multiply point of view, high fantasy. There's definitely a lot more characters and a lot more plot in this book, but I don't want to spoil it for you because I didn't write it yet myself. I have a bunch of concepts that I want to include. I already have the first draft of the first chapter, which I'm really excited about. It turns out well. I'm really loving the characters that I made up, and I'm loving the journeys that I made up for them and the plot twists that I already know that I'm going to include. What I'm trying to say is that writing fantasy is very liberating. You can do almost anything with it. It's pretty much like playing Sims and creating your own world the way you want to, with the rules that you want to. That's all that I wanted to tell in this writing update. If you're writing as well, please tell me what are you writing about and which genre you prefer and why. If you have any tips how to write better or how to write more consistently, please also leave it in the comments down below. And if you have a tip tip how to make up a title for your book. I badly need this one. I'm so bad at this. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you weren't bored, and I'll see you soon in my next one. Bye.